Hey guys, welcome back to Witch Baby Wednesdays. Today we're going to be taking a look inside my grimoire. So my hope here is just to give you guys a little bit of inspiration on how to create your own grimoire or book of shadows, sort of like what I put in it. I like to be a little bit more artistic with it and rather than just treating it like a notebook. So if you want to watch that, keep on watching. Hey guys, Darian here from Darian Empire. Welcome back, and if you are new here, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications before you head out. So today we're going to be taking a look inside my grimoire. You ready for this? Oh, I gotta like keep it safe before I show it. So for those of you that are really just really new in the witchcraft world, a book of shadows or grimoire, it's essentially it's a place where you put all of your magical workings in, things you want to remember, spells that you do, how those spells work, almost like a recipe book, but for your spell workings. And really it's up to you. So grimoire, I'm pretty sure the grimoire means like secret. So it's technically usually most books of shadows or grimoires, it's a book that nobody really looks into. It's a book that you do not share with anybody. It is a very magical book. At least for me it is. So hopefully I can figure out how to do this on editing, but I will be blurring out. I'm still going to show my pages, but I will be blurring out the spells that are my personal creations. Just because there are some things I'm okay with you guys seeing in this book because it is still very new. I don't have that many pages done. I'm sort of okay with showing it right now. I think that if this were like a full book, I just wouldn't show. I'm just not going to be showing all of my spells. But I can definitely show you where I got my book. It's very beautiful. I love it so much. And I can give you just some inspiration. Now, you do not need a big fancy book like this. It really is completely up to you. There are no rules about what your book needs to be. My book has like a literal lock and key on it. It is leather bound or leather whatever covered. I don't think it's vegan, so sorry for people who are vegan. It's just really stunning. I also have a quill pen with this that I will be showing, which is just like a feather pen that I use to write in this and I use with spells and such. So let me just open this up and we will get into it. You can buy these pretty much anywhere. I really searched high and low for one that I really loved. I was specifically looking for a black one with brown pages. That is what I wanted. Looking back now, I kind of wish that I got pages that were, that I could do watercolors on, because these are not pages that watercolors work on, but I do use a lot of watercolors in this just for decorative purposes. Also for magical purposes because I think it looks more beautiful, but I actually found this and my quill pen on AliExpress. So AliExpress is sort of like Amazon for China. You get lots of cheap stuff there. It's like super duper cheap. So I really think you probably would pay no less than $30 to $50 for something like this. Let's say on Amazon or even at like a witchy shop. I got it for like 15 bucks on AliExpress. So there's my little witchy secret. Also the quill pen, I think I got like the whole set. It's like a quill pen with a bunch of calligraphy tips and ink. And the ink is awesome because the ink does not bleed. The ink can get wet and it's permanent. And I think maybe that was around the same price as this, 17 bucks. So worth it. All right, so when you open this up, Dun, 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 dun. There's not many things in here. I just want to let you know, first and foremost, not many things in here, just a couple of things, just to kind of, like, there's a lot of things that I just started doing and I will just finish throughout time. I've not put any like major stress on myself to like fill up my grimoire or anything like that. This is really a labor of love for me, and I think it should be for you. If you feel called to that. I've seen people turn their grimoires into just absolute art where they're actually like, it's just a piece of artwork. And I've seen people do grimoires or books of shadows where it's literally just notebooks. Like it's just, you're just writing. It's all writing. There's nothing, that to me is not that fun. So this is what mine's starting to look like. So in the front here, we've got this beautiful little white chalk sketch that I've got going on here. And I wrote grimoire in calligraphy. And honestly, I am not an artist, but when I drew this, I was like, damn, I didn't even know I could do that. So I was kind of surprised by myself that I could even do something like that. So that was cool. So when you open up my grimoire, we first start off with an image of Medusa. So Medusa is one of the very first goddesses that ever came to me very clearly. I wasn't asking for anybody to come to me, but I was asking for protection, and she came through very clearly. When I Googled her, I found out, I didn't know anything about Medusa, but when I Googled Medusa after she had come to me in my meditation, I figured out that she actually is a protectress. She is my protectress, and that is why, of course, I stuck her photo right here on the front of my grimoire. This is also some wax from a candle spell that I did, connecting with my soul and actually devoting my craft to God. So I used that wax, put it here to just kind of seal it. I put a little seal on it. That's not anything you have to do, but just what I did. So then we've got the table of contents, which of course is not really filled out yet because I kind of skip around in this book. So, you know, once it gets more full, I'll have a little bit more. We have casting a circle, which I never finished. You'll see a lot of that. Things that I just kind of just started to do and just haven't finished. So if you turn the page, I have the Wheel of the Year. This is one of the first things that I put in here. And again, like, each of these pages are unfinished. They're all unfinished because, well, most of them are unfinished because I just kind of go little by little, painting like, you know, little flowers and little things, whatever I feel like. I just kind of go through the page. If I feel like the page needs something that day, I put it on. So this is the Wheel of the Year. It includes all of the Sabbats, the solstices and equinoxes, and the zodiac. So that's just like a quick, again, you don't have to have it, but so after this, my intention here is to write deeper about each of the Sabbats, which I have yet to do, but I just titled each of their pages for me to write more information about each of the Sabbats. Then, if you turn to the next page, we've got the moon phases. So I just got some moon stickers, again, off of AliExpress, and I just had some fun, like doodling a little bit about what sort of spells I can do during moon phases. So this is just, these are really great quick reference guides for me. And I would suggest you doing that as well in your grimoire. So the next page we have here, and actually this page is kind of bleeding. So usually what I do when I mess up, I got this idea from another witch online. I take like a sticker or something, or I'll like glue something right over top. So if I mess up, just glue right over it. Just start over. So these are the days of the week, the type of spell work you can do, the correspondences, planetary correspondences with the days of the week. Again, just another quick reference guide. And I just kind of like draw little flowers and fun nature things. So the next page, my intention here is to actually write down all of the crystals that I have. I have a pretty, I mean, it's not extremely large collection of crystals, but it's a pretty large collection of crystals, to the point where I don't even know what a lot of my own crystals are because I've gotten a lot of them from like subscription boxes, like Goddess Provisions and stuff. So my intention is to write down all of the crystals that I have in my collection and their meanings and such. So I did, save myself some space there. So if we continue on, we've got energy work. So I started to write down the things I already know about spirituality and all the things I already know that are extremely important as far as practicing magic, but I was doing them before I knew I was practicing magic. So energy work is something that I teach my clients to. It's something that I've been trained in and something that is extremely powerful, and it actually is magical workings. I did not know that prior to. So this is the beginnings here of the instructions on how to do energy work. So energy clearing, energy healing, and such. We turn to the next page. We've got a beautiful little sigil here where I've drawn some pretty little flowers, and that spell for my devotion to God. The spell is actually not even written down here because I just did it a few days ago. So I haven't even transferred it completely into this book yet. But you kind of get an idea. Like, I like to draw little pictures. I do a little bit of modern calligraphy, and I do traditional calligraphy, Gothic calligraphy. I like that little mix. So we can turn to the next page, and I've got this cute little collection going of little pictures of altar tools. So I have, again, this is unfinished. My plan is to kind of write down what are the typical altar tools, what are their meanings, why do we have them, things like that. And I just sort of began it like this. So I don't know, I think it looks really cute. So the next page is a money spell. I am sharing this spell because this is not my own spell. So a lot of people most people that I've heard suggest only writing your own spells in your grimoire. It really doesn't matter. But if you can see here, I've got the money spell on the right, and then I've got the results and variations on the left here. So you definitely want to leave room for your results. The issue that I do have in this particular book is there's certain pens that I can't write with. Like this here was like a permanent, the gray here was like a permanent ink that I wrote with, and I can't always do that because it bleeds through. So the next page, we've got a home blessing spell and a house cleaning spell. So I just painted a little home and such. It's actually really easy to paint things like this in watercolor. So I just think it looks really pretty. And to me, it adds more magic to the book itself. I want to feel the spell when I look at this book. I want to actually feel the essence of the spell. And that's kind of my goal when I do this. So the next page, this is one of my own creations. I will probably be blurring this one out, but I do want to show it to you because I just think that it is really beautiful the way I did it. So on the left here, we've got this the spell, which is basically a daily incantation. It's an incantation for soul manifestation. That is the title of it. And then on the right-hand side, if you turn the book, I have done the results. And so, I wrote some of the results down, and then I painted over them so that they actually kind of splattered. So it's almost like the magic is there, but you can't see it. So that was just, I've gotten kind of ideas from seeing other people's grimoires and such for doing things like that. I've seen other people do like little hidden pockets and hidden sections in their grimoire that just seems like a lot of fun. So the next page here is the beginnings of, this is actually how I do my focus wheels. So this is a focus wheel on witchcraft. It is me writing down all the things that I love about witchcraft and me really getting into getting into alignment with my absolute love for witchcraft. There are some, coming from the light worker world and coming from Christianity, there are some doubts in my mind that sometimes come up, or especially when I first started getting into witchcraft. So doing a focus wheel was very important for me, and this is something that I kind of collect over time. So I'm going to do another focus wheel on this page too. So if we go to the next page, this again is a spell that I got from another book. This is another house cleaning spell for the fairies that I just decorated and I made look really pretty. And I got this picture of the Queen of the Fairies, and I just posted it in here. And I just like this page because I think it's pretty. We've just got some little doodles in here. So this next one is, if you recall, I actually shared this spell, or these two spells, on my YouTube channel. So it is if you look up the video that I have for this spell for self-love, this here is that. This is how I recorded it in my grimoire. So it's really fun and it's really pretty and I really enjoy it. So it makes me feel the way I want to feel when I do the spell. So that's why I love it. All right, the next thing is I actually put a spell list in here for spells that I would like to do. So that is what you have here. Just some spells that I have intentions on doing. Now you could put this, I would suggest getting like a separate notebook to kind of like scribble down any new spell ideas and then transfer them into the grimoire once you've got the spell down. And you might maybe want to write your list of spells that you want to do in there, but I just like keeping it here. All right, then we've got a page. This is a really cute page that I like. I wrote down how to raise your vibes before spell work, because that's really important, to raise your vibrations, to come into alignment, to get into the vortex. Of course, your magic is going to be most powerful when you're in the vortex. So I just kind of drew this little, it's like this cute little map on tips on how to raise your vibrations. And it comes in handy for me because sometimes I forget. And even though I am a coach myself, sometimes I forget some of those, tiny little powerful tools that I've always used. And obviously I have a lot and this isn't even finished. So, and the next page here, this again is just on the left here this is actually a spell that I did write myself to divert negative attention. And then the little thing on the right, it says, which is what you become when you no longer need to convince yourself that you are magic. And I don't know, it's just something that I painted. I painted with some watercolor and did some modern calligraphy on it. And then I started dripping wax on it, and the way the wax was dripping looked more magical than I've ever seen wax drip in my life. It was like setting on fire. It was so cool. So I just like went overboard with dripping wax on it. And I just felt like it felt like a spell itself, like I was sealing it into this book. So, and I think it just makes it pretty. So the next page is actually the last and final page in the book that I've got going on so far. This is a spell that I just did recently. It is a blood spell that I just did recently, and it is so powerful. And the book itself, the way I designed this, the way I wrote it, it feels palpable to me. So, that's one of the things that I really truly love about having this grimoire, is being able to design this book and make it something really beautiful. And this is just like an idea of what my book will be looking like. And that is all I've got so far. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that you got some inspiration. Please know that there really are no rules for your grimoire. I think that some suggestions would be that it really is a sacred book. Definitely like meditating with it, getting to know it. Me spending time in this book is really me infusing my magic into the book. So the fact that I draw, the fact that I do my calligraphy, learning how to do that stuff alone was all a labor of love for me. And it's something that I just love doing. When I first got this book, one of the things that I did was I meditated with it while playing my own meditation music that I created in order to raise vibrations. For my 21 days of self-love guided meditations, I created a song entitled Chimes of Light, and I sat with this book and infusing it. I also did a protection spell for it. I just recently did the protection spell for it. I have yet to write the protection incantation on it. That is an intention of mine as well. I do want to start doing like, you know, maybe will come a time where I will, once I fill this up a little bit more, I'll start to share even more things with you guys. But you know, I want to do that, the idea of doing like little secret compartments in here, and, you know, just all sorts of ideas. I get a lot of ideas from just watching like journal creations and calligraphy things on like Pinterest and accounts on Instagram and things like that. That gives me a lot of ideas for the creative aspect of it, because just me creating this book is magic in and of itself. It is infusing it with magic, and this is just, it feels like this book really is a part of me. I mean, now that I've done a blood spell, it has my own blood in it. So I want to be able to pass this on to my children and their children after I pass. So I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of inspiration from my grimoire. A lot of people, like I said, a lot of people don't share these. Some people do. I have chosen to share some of these things in here because it is still pretty new. And of course, we'll be blurring out some of the spells that are most important to me. And those are just spells that I will probably never ever share with anyone. And that's perfectly fine. That kind of holds the magic and keeps the magic, but the spells that have already been shared in other books, I have no problem sharing. So there it is. I would love to see your grimoires and your books of shadows, or if you got any inspiration from mine, let me know down below. If you want to share yours, please tag me on Instagram at Darien Empire and show me your grimoires. I would love to see what you thought about my grimoire. All right, guys, enjoy your beautiful labors of love and magic infusion in your own book of shadows, in your own grimoire. If you have any questions, feel free to ask down below, and I will see you guys next week for another episode of Witch Baby Wednesdays. Bye, guys. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to connect with me outside of YouTube, head on over to my Instagram to say hello, watch behind the scenes stuff, and check out any special announcements that I might have going on. Now, if you haven't already, head over and watch one of these awesome videos and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video, guys.